Hello, 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 and welcome. What an incredible day of energies from the get-go, right? I knew, I knew when I woke up this morning. Hello, Sally. I knew when I woke up this morning that something big had been happening, and when I asked about it, I got that it was that we'd had these huge Schumann spikes that were off the chart, not able to be registered, and that what I got, rightly or wrongly, was that they were in the hundreds. And so if you know the Schumann chart resonance, it is leveled off at 40. It doesn't go beyond 40. And 7.83 has been the way in which that has been measured. That measurement is essentially a sine wave, I guess, but it measures the ionosphere, and it measures the electrical conductivity in the ionosphere. So it kind of registers as the pulse of the earth. And so over a long period of time, it's been 7.83. Gaia said to me ages ago that that would begin to increase, that increase is a reflective measurement of this whole ascension process. So it is, that our hearts might be beating a little bit faster, that the pulse of the earth might be going a little bit faster. So I know that we had a big spike in my night, or several spikes in my night or in my early morning, and I woke up with a headache and with a lot of pressure in my head, and that's how I knew. So anyway, I went for a walk and then went to the gym and then did another bit of a walk and felt much clearer when I got back. So we're on the 13th of July here today, this evening. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please go and do that. That would be fantastic. And there's information I want to bring about the sort of current energies, and some information I want to bring about the whole divine masculine, divine feminine energies, because if you are sitting with one of those energies in your system, I bet you're feeling on the edges of something. I bet you're feeling that, oh, this is close. I am going to turn around any moment and my counterpart will be there, will be touching base. And certainly it is like that. There's a lot in terms of the energy. There's a lot in terms of this total recognition, and this coming into self is stronger, and the realization of who they are, each of the counterparts, whether you are predominantly divine feminine or predominantly divine masculine, you are likely to be in I want to call it a streaming of recognition that you're way more, you're way bigger, you have way more power, you have way more gifts, knowledge, power, and it is that this is part of this time. That's what I get. It's that there's this whole coming into this alignment, this empowerment, but it's this empowerment of self. It really is. It's this recognition of being able to look in the mirror and recognize, there I go. There I am. I am this being that is really aligned and really powerful, and all I have to do is it's like, I know I spoke about it before, it's that the masculine doing this, like gathering themselves up and then coming into alignment, and we're doing that, And it's like though we're at the finer degree of it, and I know it feels like repetition, but you'll be aware of this as well, right? We've been going around these cycles, this extra purification, this extra arising, this higher frequency coming from the sun, our hearts opening more, our gifts dropping in, our embodiment, and the masculine are in this embodiment of their higher selves, and they are in this stretching open of their hearts. And you will be noticing this in the men and in the masculine in your world, not just in your divine masculine connection if you have one of those, but the men in our world. It's so beautiful. They are really coming into the warmth of their hearts, into their emotional way of being, and exploring that, and the streaming that they are in their emotional body. So that is bringing up memories, that is bringing up dreams and excitement, and memories from the past. And for some of them that will also be past life memories, but certainly the kinds of sequences or synchronicities or experiences that they've had, that they are beginning to see now were signposts or messages or threads or giant knocks on the back of the head, to give them clues. And so this is the kind of current process of the divine masculine, and they are, I want to say, they're a sight to behold. You know, they are magnificent, they are divine, they are aligning to their love, they are seeing it clearly, and they're having this very masculine countenance, really, about it, about the process, about the steps, but it's very well defined and articulated. And then both the feminine and the masculine. And so see if you're feeling like this. I want to say the feminine is in this place of the deepest surrender that the divine feminine could ever be in. It's like, what? Surrender? Okay, I surrender a bit more. And so it's dropping in. It's really dropping into it's like dropping into the 0 point and then taking another breath. And I wrote on my way home from the gym today, there were these funny little, wrong book, funny little things that were coming, like little funny rhymings. Yeah, so I'll read them to you. You make of them what you wish. See how well I can read without my glasses on. It's the white on the black that I struggle with more. I might read no, I'll do this. It's a very nice feeling going so slow. Did you ever know you could get so low? But the lowness is not about depression. It's like if there was a hanging rope. It's like getting right into the center of the rope and stretching it down. That was the imagery. So it's a very nice feeling going so slow. Did you ever know you could get so low? Have you noticed that you keep going in flow? There's no judgment here. Just take a moment. And there's more. I want to say that this is our process at the moment for the divine feminine, is to be, we are being or becoming so incredibly, exquisitely, amazingly, divinely present in each moment, and seeing and feeling each moment, and exploring and experience the feelings that come with that. It's really delicious. Did you ever know you'd be so good alone, never worrying anymore because you know? Have you contemplated life solo and yet you know it's okay, just a little slow? Because we've learned that timing's everything, that clothes and jewels and diamond rings, they count for nothing and not a thing. And alignment, growth, and love is everything to bring. So that's not a particularly well crafted poem, but that just came as a channeling on my way up the path on the way home from my walk. But this morning, yeah, I got that these big frequencies had spiked very high overnight, and that it was linked in very much to more mental programs being dissolved. So this is particularly affecting the mind and the mental mind, and especially the masculine aspect. So I'll just say hello to everyone here. Hello, Sally and Charlotte, and hello at the feed shed, and Diane and Tina, and Larissa and Donna Jean, and hi, Ciela, and hello, Holger. So thank you all for joining me here. And I'm curious, are you feeling the excitement? Hello, Sarah. Are you feeling the excitement of this energy? Like it's very expansive, it's very crystalline, and it's very joyful. Yep. So the divine masculine I got this morning, the divine masculine are having this mental clarity about how to progress. So this is real, tangible in the physical. And I know that I got a lovely letter from somebody who follows the channel saying that her divine masculine has been physically coming and visiting, and then going again and then coming back. So this coming and going, it's all, there's that whole part about how we each assist the other in becoming whole and becoming more aligned and becoming like coming back to our amazing, powerful divine selves. And so we assist one another in that way by the energetic connections, and those energetics can happen in the ethers as well as in the physical world. But we're on the edges of this coming into the physical, tangible, real, material world, but without the material requirements, if you like. I guess that would be an okay word to use. So it's a really big shift. This relationship, this connection that's held here in between these divine counterparts. It's a very new way of being. It's why. So when people say, "Well, why does it take so long? And why is it in and out?" It's because it's so big. It's because we are each dissolving very large constructs from the past, paradigms for the world. That is the job, the role of twins, of divine counterparts, is basically to smash apart, because it is like that. They have to be totally broken down, dissolved, undone, disentangled. All of the paradigms and patterns that sit in the overlay of our three-dimensional world. So, many of us have come as ascended masters from the past, be coming back into our ascended mastery here now, and those who were sent or volunteered, doesn't really matter. You are here, and those people who are here like you, this is the the bigger reason why we came for this connection, because we came to undo the old, and that is no mean feat in itself. And it's been very challenging. And I know many of you have been very challenged by the circumstances that you've been put in, by the fact that many of you have spent a lot of time on your own. That this seems to be part of, at least for many, part of the deal, part of the arrangement. It's so, how I described a little while ago how the divine feminine had to become well enough attuned to their own divine masculine, to their own masculine aspect, that their internal masculine coming into balance, and then able to hold. So your own masculine holding your own feminine, and that would be when you're in that alignment. And we've got more into that alignment and the tweaking of it, the up leveling of it, the greater love coming in, and this empowerment. So it's like we are shifting from, being healed and whole and aligned to um, coming into this empowerment. So it's like being taller. It's coming into your goddess self, into your divinity, and into this alignment with mission and purpose. So irrespective of the order, because you know that lately I've been saying all of these things can all happen in a millisecond, in a quantum bubble. Now, there's no, as far as I can see, and as far as I've been shown, there's no set order of sequence for these things now, but that it's all in the mix. So that coming into your own alignment, that coming into your higher empowerment, that coming home to self, that higher aspect of self coming in, the embodiment of the old lessons, codes, and gifts, this coming into higher, this recognition of yourself as a being that has had many experiences, not just here on the earth, but many experiences as soul, and that this is some kind of culmination of that. And so this recognition of why you came in your own individual mission and purpose, and then that will align with your divine counterpart, and there will be a twin or a divine counterpart mission and purpose. And so I want to say that many of the divine feminines have, got to that place where they've been holding space for their own healing, and then the world, and are tired, exhausted. But it's like there's been a little bit of a rejuvenation that's come through. And I believe that that's come because the divine feminine has surrendered to a new level. So surrendered right into the bottom of that swing, into the 0 point, and beneath, like dropping down lower, this total surrender, the allowance, this beautiful flow of the feminine energy, and the recognition that it's coming, and that the way for it to be allowed is to be in flow. And the divine masculine coming into this recognition of who they are, and which is what I believe we did not too long ago. I don't know, a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. You know what I'm like with I remember the information sometimes, but never exactly when it came. So this is them now. They're really becoming their bigger selves. This refinement, this finalizing, this tweaking of their, their divinity, their higher masculinity. And so it's dropping in. So they're recognizing that they have these gifts of seership, of movement, of being able to maybe bilocate, or maybe move around in the ethers, or see things through their third eye, this opening up, this recognition of the connection between what they might see, feel, taste, know, and their hearts. This feeling their way through the world without losing themselves. So the masculine have had to navigate from living in a very practical mental mind way of navigating in the world to being in their feelings and allowing their feelings to be heard and allowing their feelings to give them information. It's a scary thing. It's a scary thing to learn to navigate in a new way, but they are masters and they are doing this. So you might see them as, growing an extra meter, because that's kind of how they show up now. They are these incredible beings. And so they are, I believe, they are in this process of the recognition of self, the noticing about mission, the alignment with their divine feminine, and the steps for that. It's clear to them. And what is clear to them also is that their divine feminine knows. So they know that their divine feminine knows. And they know that their divine feminine knows that they know. It's a bit of a tongue twister. And they know that they don't actually need to tell you. They don't need to communicate that to you because you know. And it feels like that's part of the, I don't know whether it's a test or not, but it's part of this moment. It's part of this moment to be in that deep trust and knowing that they are on their way, that they are navigating their way, that they know that you know that they know, and that they are being directed by divine, by Creator, by God. Okay. Oh, yes, I wrote here, the divine feminines are letting go and surrendering to levels they didn't know they were capable of. And I bet that's true. I'll have to put my glasses on to read the thread. Oh, I must change that. One of the somebody changed it. So today I wrote, more people will feel as though they are in the twilight zone, as though they might be dancing between dimensions. And this is everybody. This is the entire awakening collective, as though the world is not quite present how it was, as though could be in outside and it's hard to hear sounds, or you might be outside and you don't see other people, or you might be walking somewhere and it's like everyone's in different levels or spaces, and it can feel a little bit weird, a little bit kind of isolating. Well, I imagine that if you don't work with energy, imagine that. Imagine the people that we know who don't work with energy, it will be a little bit wobbly. They will be a little bit wobbly in it, because it's like, well, for a start, it's being in a totally new body form, because we're changing into crystalline liquid and everybody is having that effect. The sun in us, what a dance that is at the moment, huh? Huge energy coming off the sun and measuring in ways that are uncommon. And these are all signals to us about what is going on. I know there's a lot of weather that's out of sync a little bit, and I do want to dive in and find out some more about that. I do know that we are we are expanding on the inside. We are heating up a little bit on the inside. We are being transformed or transmigrated, and so is the planet. We have had a move, we have shifted, we have had some form of ascension movement through the galaxy, that is for certain. So more mental programs for everybody are being dissolved. So the things, and it really, I want to say, it's anything that holds us in the third dimension. So anything that attaches us to that three-dimensional world will be coming up to be let go of. And I really don't feel that this is like diving deep and pulling things apart and all the rest of it. I do feel that it's about, you can, well, if it is an emotional experience, then you allow the feeling to show itself and to just breathe. And honestly, I know that some people think this idea that I have about breathing through things is a nonsense, but it isn't. It's just energy, and it's only if we give it a story that it hangs around for longer. So we can identify that as an event or an experience, but if we drop into story, it's like running the truck around in the sandpit. You just dig the treads a bit, or the track gets compacted, gets deeper. And so that's how we build neural pathways when we're learning new information, but it's also how we embed emotional stories of attachment into our system, so they become cellular, and then they become a part of our reaction rather than something we recognize and can monitor our response, because we've taken the sting out of the energy, or we've taken the story out of the energy, or we haven't put it in there in the first place. So this is all the stuff that's coming up. Anything that has maybe occurred in our experience or in our thoughts is coming up to be released if it's not required. And so you can just ask your higher self those questions and queries, and when it's in the body, you just notice where it is. You just bring your attention to where it is in the body and just be with it. Just breathe in and out and be with it. Just be the witness of your own healing and allow it to move and allow it to move out. I might be being a bit rambly. Am I making sense? Am I making sense to you? I'm pretty buzzed out, actually. Had some pretty incredible things happen energetically today, and amazing, incredible, powerful sessions as well that were just off the charts, because these are the energies that we're in. Let me see. Okay, so Douglas, am I not making sense to you? The road less traveled, yes. Okay, so knowingness, bliss, allow your divine flow to grow in the eternal now. Yes, perfect. Yes, so who haven't I said hello to? I think I've said hello to Holger and Sarah, and hello, Sally. Moving from bed to sofa and back to bed, huge downloads with many challenges and changes in consciousness, accepting it all. Beautiful. Yep. Yeah, it's challenging to accept it when it brings pain. So yeah, just let it move, watch it move, observe it move. I think there's a lot of merit in thanking your body for showing you, and you can thank your body for releasing it under grace as well and under ease. Heaps of sense. Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. So, yes, I wrote in here as though more frequently shaking themselves out of reverie, that we'll be watching that, because I believe that most of you who are here, that's been our experience in the past. We're like, what? Um, as we notice things happening that are just new and that don't kind of hold in our, that 3D world. And we'll be watching people do that because these energies are so fast, the frequencies are so high, it's having this huge transformative impact, and some people won't know what's hit them. And it's wonderful because this is the collective awakening, and this is the way for us to get out of this Maya. Maya, that's an interesting term to use, isn't it? Maya as in M-I-R-E, and Maya as in M-A-Y-E-R, the illusion. We are kind of moving into a higher illusion and leaving the lower illusion behind. And we are likely to be the observer of chaotic moments in the world, and for some people, they will be wobbled by that. They will feel very unstable. They might have a lot of anxiety that comes, and so us holding our own center, our own balance, and our own love in the heart, this recognition that we're moving into unity consciousness and into harmony, and evoking love and harmony and unity consciousness out into the world, into the community. It'll do its business. It's a frequency, it's a shift. We're in a new light, we're in a new composition, and we're in a new frequency, and now we can operate with that. So we can become adept at using frequency to be making deliberate transformative actions. So I'll dive into some more of that and see what I can pass on to you about that. So the world may be experiencing feeling more polarized, and that impact, that polarizing or that polarization, having an impact on the physical. So I believe that we will start to see this very strongly in the physical, things physically falling apart. This reveries and living with more times of experiencing that between dimensional experiences, that being in the twilight zone. And so this is what we can hold space for people and just answer their questions. I had this lovely conversation with this guy today, and I said to him, how are you finding the world at the moment? And he has a very scientific brain. He's a bit of a genius. And he said, yeah, it's pretty crazy, and the weather is impacting as well as time. And so this is it, right? We've got these cycles and rhythms that are not our natural cycles, but we know that we're returning to them. We know that we're returning to our organic rhythms and cycles, but at the moment the weather is all over the place. I know that there are huge weather systems rolling through some of the states at the moment in terms of tornadoes, for example. We know that the space weather is impacting our Earth weather. And so we have to just keep calling in the energy of it for good, for breaking up the old, for dispelling the old spells as well. So all of that's being broken down. We're definitely in this movement of frequency whereby a lot of what we have seen that is in the spectrum of evil and dark and demonic. So whilst that sits in the spectrum for all of us and for humanity. Those things that are on that lower, darker, deeper part of the spectrum, Gaia has said that they cannot exist in the fifth dimension. So we'll be watching some of the occurrence of that. I believe it'll be interesting to see how that shows up, but it will be a bit. Oh, okay, I'm just being given this image. It's a bit like having a wand that suddenly doesn't work. It's a bit like having. Oh, that sounds a bit crude, really, but it's a bit like having a wand that's made of plastic that suddenly changes into being made of limp jelly, and so it can't do its job. It's we're going to be watching a lot of that, a lot of that. And so it'll show up in a lot of different ways. It will show up mysteriously as well, I think. Okay. So I want to, just remind you of that. Sorry, I've got a hair on my face. This confirmation that the old is being released, and so what is going to be, I think. Well, I'm curious about it. Is that we think, I think that I know some of the things that are going to be shown, but it's way beyond what we already know. So that's going to be interesting. It's a bit like, I suppose, I'm just being shown this now. It's a bit like a very old freezer, and suddenly there's no power to the freezer, and we discover that there's, soup from the 1970s in the bottom of it, and that there are, you know, bits of old something else, and there's, bits of lamb or something like that, and you don't eat meat anymore, and um, I don't know, some old socks that you put in there for some reason. It's going to be like that. We're going to discover things that we never even thought of. So even all of the information that's going to come out about Tartaria and the layers, um, like this is a beautiful example. So I remember in Egypt seeing a mosque built on top of an Egyptian temple, and so there'd been all this sort of cascading of erosion, and you could see the cross section of both of those buildings sitting there, and so it's like, who knows how many layers? I don't. But I know that there are layers there that will be revealed. There'll be parts of our history, and we'll be like, what the heck was that? And how was that used? And even though I know that you know, and that we know, we know, for example, we know that the needle points, or the spires that are on the tops of the church towers and on top of buildings and the pyramids, we know that those things collected electricity from the ethers. So we know that, well, I do anyway. In terms of Egypt, I was shown really clearly when I was there. I was shown how the ethers, the electricity was collected from the ethers by those fires, and then was conduited down into the underground, where there are this labyrinth of waterways, and that the electricity flowed through the waterways, and that in the ancient times the entire city of Giza was lit at night. They had street lights, and the entire of Giza was lit up by what was pulled from the ethers through the metal spires in the pyramids. So, there's a whole lot of stuff like that for us to find out about. I really want to do my pyramids story, but it's too long. I have to make a separate video about it. Okay, so yeah, so all of this, what have I got here? Hold on, let me get back to here. Yeah, so there's all these old mental ideas. So like, Ciela, you all know, because you've been a teacher, I've been a teacher. We know that the education system has got lots of broken bits in it. We know that when learning is exciting, then learners get excited. We know that we can create that environment by asking provocative questions or creating an opportunity. It's really about creating the opportunity for questions to be asked and for no question to be silly, and and for opportunities for everyone to throw an answer at a question, and for those to be celebrated as creative thinking, not as right or wrong, and that this is, where we need to be headed. But our schooling system, our education system, our legal system, our medical system, the university programs and material and books, all of that is and has been set in place for the programming of humanity, to believe particular doctrines and to believe that various threads are true. And so, yeah, I'm excited about watching all of that unravel and us finding out more about who we are and where we come from. And, many of you will have had experiences in the angelic realm. A lot of those who are at the leading edge of creation, the leading edge of awakening, in sessions, they often, they're showing up as having brought some of the creation codes to earth at various times, and all of that kind of thing. And so we're in the reignition of this, we're in the refinding of self, we're in that coming home to our own amazing, incredible, deeply knowledgeable selves. Anyway, yeah, so that, and then this huge energy that's coming into the heart. And so, I speak about the divine masculine leading the collective. So I believe, and so this is, I guess, what I go with. I believe that the divine feminine have come, and that they have cut the path through the forest, while the divine masculine have held space and brought protection for that to occur. This has been a team effort, even if you're not with your counterpart, and that now the divine masculine, they are coming into their hearts and into their feminine, because the timing and the age and the energy and the, like, I want to say, the environment and its many spectrums and its many layers allows that. They can step out of their masculine more now, because the battle is won. And it's not that there aren't little skirmishes going on, and it's not that we will have to stand tall amongst things and amongst some of the, I guess, the calamities that will come, the calamities for others. If we stand in our vibration and frequency, they won't touch us. That's my honest and total sharing from my heart and from my belief and from my work with Gaia. Is, we've come here to change, and we are part of the change, and so we observe the change, we initiate the change, we come up with solutions for the change. We're all programmed for that. We already know these things, and the covers are coming off for them to be realized. So it's this, yeah, this end part of the journey is becoming very detailed, very specific, and fine, in the fineness. So the beautiful divine masculine, just and all the masculine, you know, like my son. It's so beautiful how he, you know, he's had a really emotional journey in the last little while, and he's opened up his heart, and sometimes we have those events come to enable that, to trigger that. And so this is all of the masculine are softening. They're softening in their heart, but the divine masculine are really fully in this huge expansion. And those of you here who are masculine, divine masculine, and those of you who carry, which is everybody, that energy, I'm sure that you're noticing it, that there's less hard edges, there's more softness, there's more, I want to say, space. It's like space to allow, space to process the energy of what comes. Where does that go? How do I feel that? Where do I feel that? Noticing the warmth that comes from the heart, noticing it's an adjustment, I guess. I don't know if I'm finding my words particularly well, but I want to say it's like dropping into something really soft and landing awkwardly, but being okay with it. And then the next time it happens, we land gracefully and we are finding new ways of working with these energies. So on a, you know, bigger, loftier level, I want to tell you these energies have never been to the earth. They are brand spanking new, these frequencies, and this is all part of the delight, really, is learning how to work with them. So we've got that happening. We're in this greater connection of flow. And so this is the aspect of the feminine, and the masculine are beginning to explore that part of themselves, to be in flow, to be in receipt, and then to be in connection with that flow. Strong epiphanies. Da 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 da. Strong epiphanies, strong dreams, strong visuals. Both awake and asleep is what I'm told and shown. The divine masculine, definitely having those experiences. And also, all of this relates to their higher selves dropping in. So, this recognition, you know, so me, as if I am divine masculine, I am recognizing my own power, my own divinity, my own love, my own expression, my own needs, my own desires, not those of society, not those of the patriarchy, not those of the matrix, mine, my own. Well, hell's teeth, I want to say. What a revelation. And I don't say that in any diminishing, disregarding way. I'm saying that I'm sure that's what the divine masculine are feeling. Oh my goodness, these are my feelings, and my feelings are not necessarily in alignment with my thoughts or with my programming or with these deeply held beliefs or these strong ways that I've been raised or inculcated from culture, religion, family, etc. And I'm sorry I haven't kept up with the thread very well here. Okay. So look, Here's a plug for Ciela. So Ciela has a YouTube channel called As If. She's only just begun it. As If, AS space IF. She's only just begun it a little while ago, and she's been the little intrepid explorer with her camera. And so she's saying that her channel is all about that. So go and subscribe to her channel, and you'll see that she has been adventuring around and noticing things that are obvious when they're pointed out, but not necessarily obvious until they are. Hello, Angela. Makes perfect sense. Feeling this total peace and complete surrender. Beautiful, magnificent. Thank you, Angela. So it's what we all have to. No, we don't. That's what I'm inviting you to find within yourself. Okay, so we're in this, and especially the masculine, these strong epiphanies. So it's like they're remembering who their divine feminine is, and maybe past lives that they were in, and they are really recognizing the feelings that are in their heart about them. This is their real-time show at the moment. So I wrote here, there's this total recognition of who, and a deep knowing that what is right and current and what is not right and not working, that needs to go. So they are in this very deliberate, very conscious set of movements to put all of that in order. Yep, divine feminines in the deepest, most surrendered position ever. And so now you both know, and you likely know that the other knows. So next comes the setup, which to me is this incredible empowerment of self, of mission, and then the coming together and the creation of this amazing love, the frequency that gets emitted from the connection, the light that gets emitted, the wash of love that goes across the planet, and this excites and ignites the hearts of many. And then when that is at the tipping point, at whatever place that is, it sends the signal to the sun to send the wave, the big solar wave that tips us in to our higher dimensional space. So I think we can begin to see and have seen that we're moving through the levels, and the numbers aren't so important, but we're moving through the levels, spiraling up a bit at a time, becoming more fifth dimensional. And now a lot of us are spending a lot of our time in that fifth dimensional frequency that impacts everything going on in our bodies, and that impacts everything around us. And then when these connections come together, it's this incredible catalyzing impact on humanity. And then the world tips. And when I say tips, I mean it's like the tipping point. I don't mean the earth rolls over. Yeah, so to me, that's where we're at, that we should hold on to this level of excitement, but be deeply in that surrendering space with our divine feminine, and the masculines are rising up to become that. And it's like becoming the active knight on the horse. They are in motion with that. You could see riding their stallion and galloping. So it's that kind of story. We're at that point in the story, folks. Okay. Yeah. I think that's it. So I wish you a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day. We are heading to the 17th, 18th. So we've got a new moon we've got a new moon coming on that time, as well as this North-South Aries, Libra, North-South axis alignment. I think that's what it's called. And this is the place, and so we're in this window, right, from the 777. The 777, miracles and transformation and speaking them out. So I really want to encourage you to be writing up your desires and speaking them out. Be in the excitement of them coming or becoming or here. And you can play with that language, but I encourage you that the softest part of it is curious about what's coming. I'm curious about what's coming. I'm open to seeing it more clearly. I know it's on its way. Oh, look, it's here. It's that kind of languaging that I would encourage you to be using. So we're in this big, you could see it as this, you could see it as this big portal tube between the 777 gateway and the 887. So that's the Lion's Gate. So we're moving this from the Syrian gateway to the Lion's Gate. So we've got, whatever that is, 28 days of that, but we haven't got 28 days left. So we're the 13th today. So we're in July, so that's, I don't know, 18, is it? 18 days of July and then 8 days. Oh, so maybe it is 26 days. Anyway, you can do the maths on that. We've got 26 days of being in this window of working with magic and miracles and transformation in this energy, this energy that's available for us to use to bring about the creation of what we desire. And to just know that you have that power when you're in your alignment, that you can call that in by speaking it out. So speaking it into the ethers, that we live in a world of peace. We live in a world full of love. We live in a world devoid of conflict, because we can always find our way through it. We find our way through it through peaceful resolution. We live in a world of abundance, of bounty, of prosperity, of this beautiful light, of this incredible flow, of amazing connections, of this establishment of our beautiful gifts, of the creation of miracles, of our new earth, of our place in the galaxy again as the jewel in the crown of the galaxy, the living library of the universe. All of these are spells, if you like. So, we're casting these spells at this powerful time, and they are positive, they are uplifting, they are co-creative for the new, and speaking them out and holding the energy of it. So we can hold the energy that we live in a world that is full of peace and love, where all the children are honoured, where we honour one another, where humanity lives in peace and co-creation and in reverence and in honour of nature, where we have systems that honour all of the living systems in the world, both within the planet and on the planet, the eco-living environments, the biodiverse, and the human diversity, the celebration of that. It's not about our becoming the same, it's about our being in unification through the recognition, the love, the honouring, the reverence of difference. And these are new and higher ways of operating. So we're operating in higher mind and higher love, higher light, higher consciousness, and we are setting the scene for that. It's what we're doing now, and so I just invite you to throw your own invocations. And I'm going to love you and leave you and wish you the most magnificent evening, day, afternoon. Much love from my heart. And thank you for joining me.